want you to know, no matter, you can work on your size. You can lose weight, but if you have an ugly disposition, that is not attractive to any man. You can get them, but will you keep them?
Amen.
If that's the thing, you can get them. Because plus size women, we get men, but it's like, is that our whole focus in life? Is that all our focus is to put this look up for men to be attracted to us, when in the inside we're hurting because skinny women are hurting, plus size women are hurting because we're not dealing with the dysfunction that we have in our homes, in our hearts, in our communities. Let's switch just a minute for standards. Now we hear um, plus size women shouldn't have all of these standards. You want a man who is this, you want a man who's smart, you want a man who makes six figures, and you want this godly man, and you want him to have a nice shape. Who are you to have standards? Wait, before we talk about that, let me read this. There's a blog post. Her name is Madison. She wrote a blog saying, I'm fat, but that doesn't mean I should have to lower my dating standards. So she was doing online dating. Now, I've been in the online dating scene before. I will not say I haven't. And I was very clear and upfront. I am not thin. I wanted a full body picture. I don't want no surprises. I want you to see the full body picture. So I did that. I did the online dating for a while. Unfortunately for me, I didn't experience what she experienced in her online dating. She ran into a guy who fixed his teeth. I guess his teeth were bad. He fixed his teeth and he started talking to her about how fat women don't change their standards and they really should. So she starts to say, the supreme lack of standards and preferences a fat girl is required to have by online dating guides was brought to her attention one day when I was in conversation with a traditionally attractive white guy with a secret ugly past. So his past was he wasn't attracting women until he fixed his teeth. So then she says, I've been coming in terms with new status as a fat girl who hasn't always been fat. So at one point, Madison is an African-American girl. She was thin at one point. She discovered that many people feel bigger women and girls should relegate themselves to table scraps rather than develop a sense of who and what they like and act on it. This contempt for bigger bodies and the fact that bigger women are expected to give up all choice in terms of the people that they love, they participate in sexual activity, she used that word, date, marry, and befriend because of an extra role or two is compounded with a culture of misogyny and sexual violence. There is a toxic cultural belief that fat women should, in fact, be grateful for any attention they get, especially sexual attention. Anybody want to talk about should we lower our standards? Should we have different standards because we had this extra role she just talked about?
No, I'm saying just like that. And for the guy who said that, forget you and your mammy. I'm sorry. That's get you who wanted to be a FU. No woman. First off, women, everybody should have standards on what you want for a relationship, what you want for yourself. Nobody should have to throw away standards because they trying to get a relationship or they feel that their weight, just because they're big, that I'm just going to take what I can get. No, it shouldn't work like that. No, continue to have your standards. Make sure you have some standards. Continue to build on yourself and forget that man. Yeah. No, that wasn't. No, have your standards. Yeah.
Anybody else? Anything?
I agree with Regina. I mean, first of all, that's some tomfoolery, okay? And still, it's disheartening, that that's how she feel, or hopefully she didn't, maybe she was just sharing her opinion and maybe not taking what he was saying to heart. I don't know, but to everybody under the sound of our voice, don't do that. Don't lower your standards. Definitely have standards. Why? Because you're worth it. You're worth it. One of the last was situations I was in, this guy I was dating or whatever, it was not even related to my size or whatever, and it just was not a good match. And he said, "You're never gonna find anybody to love you like me." I said, "Sir, if love looks like anything that you just gave me, I will be single for the rest of my life. I don't want it. Trust and believe that this my love life don't end nor begin with you, and it will not be complete because or incomplete because that you're not what I want. I'm not going to settle because you got the parts that you think I want. No, sir. No, sir. My standard says that this is what I desire, this is what I want, and I'm not going to settle for anything less than that because I'm not going to be miserable for the rest of my life. And I'm okay with that. I'm completely okay with that. And that's the standard that I have for myself.
Mhm.
I think
Oh, go ahead.
women have a sense of, some women, well, at one time it probably was a lot of women, have a sense of feeling that they're not deserving of their standard, because sometimes we can set standards so high. Man, he would have to jump through gasoline hoops, in order to be able to meet that standard. So, me personally, I had to look at some of my standards because baby, he would have caught on fire. Those gasoline drawers would have caught on fire
Do your
because the
standards change?
huh? What'd you say?
Do your standards change? So you're
What I had to
go
do
back and
was I had
reevaluate some standards.
right. I had to become realistic in my standards. Things. The standards start to be the standard of what you're looking for becomes getting to know someone in the communication. Sometimes we don't know how to cut that off soon enough because we're still trying to bring them up to standard. And I think that's what happens a lot of times is you get someone, you think, okay, he has a little potential, and man, is he fine. So you thinking, oh, he probably has he probably will meet my standards because girl, he worked down there at so and so, and he's doing this. And look at that car. Oh my God. So some of the standards that we have are materialistic standards. And I think that's what happens when a man meets a woman of quality as myself, that's plush. He doesn't know how to take that in because I have standards. And those standards lie within my soul. They're deep, baby. I'm a deep rooted standard woman. So, I think that sometimes we don't look deep enough within the person because we're looking for fine, rich, got a nice car. He at least got 20 out of the 32 teeth. We just, I always try to make sure at least had 8 across the front and I couldn't see the side when he smiled. Certain standards that we had, it was so visual.
The external, but people are saying that we shouldn't want even a skinny guy. We shouldn't want a physically fit guy.
See, in that story that you shared, I mean, I still feel it in my back because I'm a little agitated about it. But what people are really communicating is you should lower your standards because those people have to lower their standards for you.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
The audacity.
Yep.
How dare you?
Yep.
And again, as I said earlier, like that's a you thing. That's a problem with how you are viewing somebody else. That's the real problem. We get so much on, yes, let's focus on ourselves. Let's be the best version of ourselves that we need to be. Let's make sure our characters and our heart is in the right place. And make sure that we are seeking out people who have substance as well. But also make sure you are around people who don't think like that, who don't think that in order that I am deserving of a lower standard. That's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hot mess. Period. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
So before we wrap, if you had to leave a young lady or older, because we assume that all older women have come into themselves and they're well with their spirit with the way they look, and that's not the case, because you have some older women who are struggling with being confident and just having self-esteem in the skin that they're in, and they're well past their 40s and 50s. But if you had to leave a woman with any piece of advice before we wrap, what could you say about standards being fat? And I say that's fabulous attitude too. That's how I describe fat. So, or plus size women, tell me.
I'll say find your confidence. Do some soul searching within yourself and recognize what has hindered your confidence and your growth in that area. It starts with you. Once you build yourself within and you realize that I have this foundation of knowing who I am, and either I want to change or I don't want to change. I this is how I am. You're going to have to love me, whether I make that change or not. So it begins with yourself, with your confidence.
I am going to piggyback off that. Find your confidence. Fall in love with yourself so that you don't need no one else to validate you. And if we talk about simple math, you don't need two halves make a whole, but two wholes make a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So once you find out who you are, fall in love with yourself, and know that you are complete all by yourself, then you don't need anybody to help make you feel complete. Because you can build your own table. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So fall in love with yourself, be confident so that you don't need anyone else to validate who you are, your beauty, your worth, or your standards that you deserve.
So I'm going to end with a response that M. Madison from her blog said, which sums up my thoughts. Before I say that, let me also say, if you are confident, you're working to heal whatever it is within you, the relationship will come. You do not have to make your life mission and goal about seeking the person of the opposite sex or whatever it is for you, same sex, whatever it is. But as for me, it will be opposite sex, right? You do not have to make that your life goal. Do the work about what you need, fulfill your goals, get busy doing helping in your community, and the right relationship will come at the right time. And you can Madison blog, this was her response to the conversation she was having with this gentleman. She said, I've come to realize, however, that my worth as a human being is not equivalent to the number of messages in my inbox or the number of men who find me desirable enough to bring home to their mom. My self-worth is not also found in my size or by tearing others down in the dating game. My self-worth is directly related to, and for me, is who God says I am, what kind of person I am, and I'm sexy even if you don't think I'm sexy. So that's my closing remarks. I want to say, be the best you. The point in all of this is so that hopefully you can learn, we can learn together. You can learn from us, we can learn from you, and together we can grow and glow and be blessed. Be blessed. I want to thank each of you for talking with us today, sharing your experiences, coming on. Ladies, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. If you've not checked out some of the other videos, I want to say like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Take a look at some of the other videos. Be blessed and be safe.